Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So just recently, it was put all over social media that Candace Owens, and I'm not quite sure which one it is because some people are saying she departed from, was fired from, was let go, decided to walk away from the Daily Wire, which we all know is basically Ben Shapiro's platform, if you will. Now, at first, people were wondering where this all came from, but as you know, apparently, allegedly, Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro had been falling out for quite some time now. They had been in disagreement. She said, okay, we're both conservatives. For the most part, we talk about the same things and we should agree on the same things. But for whatever reason, he chooses to disagree on every single thing that I put out there. Now, she was on the Breakfast Club not too long ago and she was talking about some interesting things. And quite frankly, I agree with her on those things, which was that she did not like the fact that there are a lot of things being labeled black culture that was toxic being shoved in our faces. I've been saying this before all this time on this platform, that there are a lot of things people are trying to label black culture that is detrimental, that's toxic, that's destructive, and we need to stop it. She's also been talking about certain artists, which I've also talked about on this channel, that have been being shoved in our faces because they are quite clearly industry plants, because they came out of left field, they came out of nowhere all of a sudden. Like I said, they're being shoved in our faces, and it's because the industry only promotes people who promote their raggedy, disgusting, toxic, dysfunctional agendas. Doesn't matter who they are, as long as they're willing to do what the industry says do, they will promote them, they will shove them in our faces. They will have other established artists come and back them up to make them seem more authentic when their rise was never authentic. It was arranged, it was preordained, if you will. And it's not just the music industry, it's the gaming industry, it's the people who are athletes, all of the different athletic industries. All of them are set in place for a reason. It's not just about talent. It's about what they're willing to do, morals they're willing to sell out. But people don't want to hear that about their favorites. And it's real sad that people will put people on a pedestal so far that you can't say the truth about them, especially on these little platforms. Now, there were some things she said, some stances she took, some people she chose to support that a lot of people didn't agree with, that pissed a lot of people off. But hey, her choices are her choices. We all are going to have to suffer the consequences of our actions. So we better make sure that those actions are the right actions. Those decisions are the right decisions. Now, what got her in trouble, I think this time with Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire, was some comments that she made allegedly. One that I think that she made on the Breakfast Club. Some comment along the lines of, oh, they can't get rid of her. They can't fire her. First of all, never overestimate your value to somebody, especially who does not look like you, especially somebody who you're working for, because they will replace you in a heartbeat. Once again, especially if they don't look like you. Okay, so don't ever, over exaggerate what you mean to somebody, or ever think that they need you more than what they actually do. That was her first mistake. Now, all these other things she's been doing, like I said, she did the whole, White Lives Matter thing with Kanye. A lot of people got mad about that. A lot of people got mad in general with her support of Kanye because this is the same Kanye who supported Hitler. Now, of course, that was disrespectful for him to do in general, considering the obvious history of Adolf Hitler. But we all know who that pissed off the most, right? In fact, they got so pissed off that they basically told him, we're knocking you down from billionaire to millionaire status, and there's nothing you can do about it. And there was, in fact, nothing he could do about it but let it happen. Now, if she didn't see what happened to Kanye, her bestie Kanye West, and take notes, then I don't really know what to say else about that. Like, we have to pick our battles at the end of the day. What's right is what's right and the truth is truth. Although on these platforms, which I've said before, there's only so much you can say. If she wanted to make those kind of comments, there's websites, Patreon, podcasts that she could have went on. Not that I'm saying she wouldn't have still gotten the backlash, but you can't be on these platforms making comments about people who own the platforms and who also write your paycheck. That's kind of like common sense. Once again, I'm not saying that she should just shut up and not say the truth. I'm saying learn how to pick your battles, know where to go to say whatever you're trying to say. Now, you might be wondering, what am I talking about? So allegedly, she made a comment along the lines of, you know what, I'm not going to even say it. Y'all can read it on the screen. It's in quotation marks. That's what she said allegedly. Now, we've all been talking about on these platforms, on YouTube, TikTok, everywhere, that we all already know that there are an elite group of people who run Hollywood. You're not getting anywhere in Hollywood unless you go through them first and you do what they say do. We all already know this. Now, why she brought this smoke to herself, I'm not entirely sure. But this is why I'm a very strong advocate of having a relationship with Yeshua, God, so we won't get anybody confused. And I'm referencing that Usher video that I just put out. This is why I have such a extreme stance on knowing God for yourself, having a relationship with him, doing things under God's protection. Because if God tells you, hey, I want you to stand up for this, I want you to say this, and you're doing it because God told you to, not because you're trying to be petty, not because you're being spiteful, you're trying to go out of your way to take shots, or you're just trying to even exercise your right to free speech. If you do something that God told you to do, you're going in the name of God. I'm not talking about you think you're doing what God told you to do in your mind's telling you one thing, but you think it's God. No, if God actually says, I want you to speak out about this, I believe with all my heart, he will protect you. Even if you lose your platform, I believe he'll make sure to have your back at the end of the day and make sure you're good. But if you just go out there on your own saying stuff like that, oh, you're going to feel the backlash for real. And you're going to feel it by yourself because you went out there by yourself. I don't know if people really understand what I'm trying to say or can wrap their head around that. But at the end of the day, we've got to understand, especially as black people, we're not going to be able to do anything in this world on these platforms without God's influence, without God backing us up. Can't just be conservatives. We actually have to be followers of Yeshua. Now, I know she has made some comments insinuating that she's a Christian, I guess. But unless she actually has a relationship with God once again, and she actually is a Christian and serious about her walk, then, like I said, you're kind of on your own out here. Another thing I feel like Candace Owens and people like her can learn from this experience is to stop approaching these situations like you're not black. They keep trying to go to these spaces that are dominated by certain individuals, thinking that they're going to have the same rights, if you will, the same energy brought to them. It doesn't matter how conservative you are. It doesn't matter who you agree with at the end of the day. The moment you step out of line, the moment you say something that they don't really like, whether it's the truth or not, they will throw you under the bus along with the rest of the black people, and that's just the truth. As a sidebar, I still can't get over that part in the interview where she didn't know what came after God is good. Like, I really don't understand that. And her, oh, well, maybe I just haven't been to enough black church. No, I think you just haven't been to enough church, period. Because there's even white churches who say that phrase. White people who say that phrase. This is what I'm talking about, how I'm really giving some of these conservatives the side eye. Because I don't think they're Christians. I think they're just conservatives who use Christianity to further push their conservative agenda. But anyways, y'all let me know what y'all think and how y'all feel about this down in the comments below respectfully. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Y'all all have a very blessed, beautiful, and safe day.